Okay, first off, you may notice the music is slightly quieter and it's not coming from my computer. That's because it's on my phone and I was too lazy to get on my computer. This is music from some sort of computer RPG that I have never heard of or played. I might have to look for it now because this music's pretty freaking awesome. The name of the game is Arcus. But anyways, oh yeah, my kitty's here too. But anyways, we're here to review this. Or give my, or to give my, first impressions, I guess, because I've only just pulled an all-nighter. I'm really tired right now, so. But, yeah. So, this is a off-brand Wii U Pro controller, if you didn't know. So, what are my thoughts? Well, I didn't really, in my all-nighter here, kinda, use these, so I used this one more than this one, surprisingly. But only in games where I had to control the camera a lot more. I found that when I was moving around, I tended to use this a little bit more. That's the battery. Okay. Anyways, so it syncs up quite easily. You just gotta power it on first, then press the sync button on the back here, and sync it to the Wii U. It doesn't have to go into any controller, which is nice. I got like close to 4 or 5 hours straight out of it before I had to plug it in and play it that way. And for a second there, actually, because I actually played a game that the Wii U Pro Controller was not meant for with the Wii U Pro Controller, so I had no idea what was going on for a minute there. I thought it died on the charger, so it didn't, but I thought it did. As a matter of fact, it was back at full charge pretty fast. Like, I didn't really time it, but it was pretty fast. So, my main complaint with this is how far certain buttons are at certain times. Usually it's the Y button over here. Usually it's the Y button over here that's just slightly out of reach, because you're going to have your hands here, and my hands are large, or not large, but long. My fingers are long and flexible, but after playing certain games, specifically the Mario games, I've noticed my hands started cramping up from trying to keep it in that position most of the time. With Smash Bros, this controller is actually pretty good, except for, again, certain buttons are unaccessible, and this is actually in a weird position, this control pad here. This should be a little bit more here for the best Smash Bros type setup. I constantly found myself using the melee instead of the special by mistake. So that was a thing. Which, believe it or not, I actually do kind of set up so that way, if I slip, I can make up for it. So I was probably pressing this button when I was meleeing. However, this button is the melee button, so I set these two up for melee and these two up for special. Anyways, so it does hook up to Monster Hunter, so you guys know there's going to be another Monster Hunter thing, and I did kill the Royal Ludra, so it will be something different with my playthrough of this. I did kill the Royal Ludra. There's a few complaints I had with Monster Hunter with this, and that is the position of these buttons. Your minus button is all the way over here, and it feels like you should have a start button, so it's a little bit off, but what you do get down here instead of the plus and minus, which you would have thought was over here. I mean, when I first tried pausing, I tried pressing clear, which I don't know what that button does. I need to read the instruction manual. But anyways, I did find that this button over here, turbo, which would have been where the minus button is if these buttons were set up quite nicely, but this turbo button was definitely useful in the Angry Video Game Nerd video game, but that boss was pretty difficult too. I used it and held down the shoot button, and it continuously shot, and actually shot a lot faster than just my continuously jamming down the button, so that is definitely faster. Okay then, this music then. Oh, you know? This music though. But yeah, that minus button is in a really weird position because I'm used to the minus button being down there, you know? It's the same with, well, it's not really the minus button that you're looking for with the 3DS, but the select button. That does exactly what the minus button does for Monster Hunter, which is bring up your menu. Which, with Monster Hunter, you need to do that kind of fast if you're in Quest. So, instead of using my right hand, I have to use my left hand if I'm going to get that quick. That's something I would have to adjust to. There was another complaint I had, and that is the lock-on target was RT. I wonder if I can change that at all. Because that would have been a lot better at LT. Because L and LT are both what I would assume to be camera stuff. LT be the target lock-on, L be the target, or not the target lock-on, but the camera reset kind of thing. Which, when you have target lock-on on, it does go towards the target. So, but I'm used to the R being the run button and doing some other tasks. I don't remember what I expected RT to do. I don't think I expected to do anything, but I probably did. But yeah, it felt kind of weird when I accidentally clicked that, and I was like, wait, why did I reset the camera and it went behind me instead of towards the Ludroth? So, that was certainly weird. The buttons seem to hold up very well. I might use this for the next Hashing Sunday, or not Sunday, Saturdays, due to the way that this feels. It feels like it would turn pretty fast, but in I found out with AVGN's video game, AVGN the video game, that even though it feels like it pressed a certain direction, it never actually goes that direction. And there are plenty of times where if you're using the control pad, like up, you might get like up side, or up to the other side. Or if you're pressing down, you might get down to the one side, or down to the other side. I also found this in Earthbound. So, the control stick has a bit of a delay, I've noticed, like, in the actions, not specifically in how it feels. It feels really nice. It resets itself quite nicely, so same with the other one, but the other one does respond a lot better than this one, so I haven't done that to them, so I can't really tell you if they really hold up too well. It does seem like, oh, maybe not. Okay, so I did get a little bit of wear and tear on this side, but not on this side, so whatever they did to this side is a lot better than this side. But this side is still feeling quite nice, so the buttons definitely have this nice satisfying click. I would have wished that instead of going completely for the Famicom ripoff, which they did, that these buttons actually felt like these buttons. This is a weird song. But these buttons are indented and these ones are solid, so with most of the games that I've played so far, they don't try to mirror the Famicom controller, so that just feels kind of weird. And when they do mirror the Famicom controller, I only want these controls right here. So holding it by these just feels weird, but there's no way to hold it just like by the Famicom part. So if they had like found some sort of way to tear that off, that'd be pretty cool. But you know, I'm not gonna nitpick at that because I'm sure the original Pro Controller wasn't anything like that either. I'm sure the original Pro Controller is just as similar. However, the buttons are probably in a different layout. I did notice when I looked at a picture of the Pro Controller that the buttons do seem to be a little bit over here a little bit, where they're a little bit more accessible. Like I said, I've got long fingers and this still causes some cramps. You gotta... I would not recommend this for long periods of play, maybe a couple hours at most. But if you're going to go for like an all-nighter, this is not a good controller. Anyways, so oh yes, the power button is right underneath the home button and looks a lot like the home button, so you're going to constantly get those mixed up. It'll just take a little bit of getting used to, a little bit of breaking in to get used to this controller. There might still be moments where you might screw up a little bit, but it is a easily broken in controller. It feels really nice. The rumble is a little bit weak, but you'll feel it if it's going off quite a bit. So yeah, I guess that's a bit of a review. It's not a very good one. I'm sure somebody's got a better review of this controller. I had a lot of negative things to say about it, but I had a lot of positive things. So this is like an average controller to me. Compared to the original Famicom controller, which it's trying to base itself off of, it doesn't feel like the original Famicom controller at all. I mean, the plastic feels like that. The casing plastic anyways. And that is some amazing plastic. The button plastic feels like that. The control pad doesn't. And neither do the turbo and clear. The original Famicom controller did not have any of these control sticks, so I'm not going to base what I think of the control sticks based on that. However, I am going to base what I know off of what I've used with previous Nintendo control sticks. So these feel a lot better than the Wii U gamepad control sticks. They feel definitely a lot better than the nunchuck control sticks. There we go. They are definitely good control sticks. I wish Nintendo would do this a lot more often. However, I do think that GameCube probably has better control sticks still, so as for the shoulder buttons, I would say the R and L do feel like the Famicom, but the triggers do not. They are made of the same kind of plastic though, so it's just kind of the thing with, it's not a Famicom controller, it's based off of one. So I do think the shoulder buttons are actually a lot more accessible with this, and maybe a little bit too much so, because you can slide your fingers easily to the shoulder buttons, which you cannot do with the Wii U gamepad. You have to kind of slip all the way down to the back of the controller where your fingers are already holding. So putting them there is a lot easier. Definitely, I like that. I'm not sure if the Pro Controller that they made is anything like that. I think the Pro Controller they made may be a lot more based off the Wii U gamepad, as it is literally just supposed to be a gamepad without the screen, which is what this is. But again, this is off-brand, so the button layout is going to be different. Some other things are going to be different. I'm surprised at how well this holds up for an off-brand. I definitely recommend it. Excuse me. It is a definite recommendation. I got this at Toys R Us. So yeah. I need to get actual Pro Controller now, don't I? So yeah, I guess that's the end of this video. I will see you guys in the next video! And I hope I don't get any copyright strikes for that music, because if I do, I can just redo this review, I guess. It won't be too much of a bother. Though, based on the fact that it's video game music, I'm not too worried here. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Please leave a like and subscribe.